Online gambling in the Philippines doesn't arrive with flashing lights or casino noise. It enters quietly, through phones, computers, and late-night boredom. At first glance, it's marketed as harmless entertainment, a simple game to pass the time. But for millions, it's becoming a digital vice with very real consequences. The Philippines, with its growing digital penetration and financial pressures, has become a breeding ground for silent addiction. Many Filipinos don't even realize how online gambling becomes a daily routine. A harmless bet here, a small win there. The apps are designed to create a false sense of control. They give the illusion that you're just one more bet away from turning your life around. But in reality, it's often the start of financial ruin. These platforms thrive on dopamine loops, making it harder and harder to stop once you start. What's even more alarming is how accessible it has become. From overseas websites to domestic apps, online gambling is now just a tap away. No ID checks, no limits. Teenagers, housewives, even OFWs are all exposed to this modern trap. It's not about casinos anymore. It's about isolation, secrecy, and silent self-destruction behind screens. The psychology behind this addiction is clear. Intermittent rewards are more addictive than consistent ones. The big win feels euphoric. The losses are rationalized as part of the game. It builds tolerance, just like drugs or alcohol. Soon, casual gamblers find themselves unable to stop chasing losses, borrowing money, or hiding transactions from their families. This quiet infiltration of online gambling is no longer just a personal vice. It's becoming a national crisis. The family unit, once the core of Filipino values, is the first casualty. As this problem grows in silence, so do broken homes, unpaid debts, and shattered dreams. It often begins with small lies. I need this for load. It's just a side hustle. Or, I can win it back. But eventually, families notice the warning signs. Unpaid bills, money gone missing, sudden mood changes, and broken trust. Online gambling doesn't just drain wallets, it drains relationships. Spouses begin to argue over vanishing savings. Parents wonder why tuition fees are delayed. Children see their once loving homes filled with tension. Some people even risk their children's inheritance or use loan sharks to cover up losses. Gambling quietly destroys the foundations of family stability, piece by piece. The emotional toll is just as devastating. Guilt, shame, and denial create walls between family members. Gamblers often isolate themselves to hide the problem. This secrecy turns into emotional detachment, leading to coldness, resentment, and eventually separation. The happy home becomes a house of suspicion. What many people don't see is how online gambling preys on the breadwinners. OFWs, BPO workers, small business owners, they are all trying to make ends meet. But the stress of money problems makes gambling look like a quick escape. When it backfires, the damage hits the entire household. Businesses go bankrupt, children drop out of school, relationships fall apart. In a culture where family is sacred, the loss of trust is perhaps the most painful blow. What began as a harmless thrill ends up destroying what matters most. Online gambling is not just a personal vice, it's a social weapon, dismantling Filipino families from within. Online gambling platforms don't work alone. They're fueled by influencers, social media ads, and peer pressure. TikTok videos show easy wins. Facebook groups celebrate daily jackpots. YouTube vloggers are sponsored by gambling brands. The message is consistent. Look how easy it is to make money here. These curated images manipulate expectations. No one shows their losses, debts, or destroyed lives. Instead, platforms promote a glamorous fantasy that hides the darker reality. Many Filipinos, already burdened by economic pressures, fall for the promise of quick success and instant wealth. Worse, influencers don't carry the consequences. They get paid regardless of whether you win or lose. But their content normalizes gambling behavior, especially among the youth. Teenagers are learning that gambling is not only normal, it's aspirational. The damage this causes over time is immense. Social media algorithms make things worse. Once you interact with one gambling video or page, your feed becomes flooded with more. The system is designed to keep you hooked, and unlike casinos, which have physical limits, these platforms operate 24/7 without restrictions or supervision. This isn't just a marketing strategy, it's manipulation. Filipinos are not just being sold an app, they're being lured into a lifestyle that preys on desperation. And the cost of believing these digital fantasies? Often, it's everything they've worked for. Online gambling in the Philippines is a billion-peso industry. But where does the money really go? Not to the average player, it's the platforms, offshore operators, syndicates, and corrupt officials that profit the most. Many of these companies operate in legal gray zones, often licensed abroad with little oversight. Filipino players are their main targets. Authorities struggle to keep up. Some platforms shut down only to reappear under new names. The outdated regulations allow these businesses to grow unchecked. Meanwhile, families are losing their savings, fueling a cycle of addiction, debt, and suffering. This isn't just a moral issue, it's an economic one. As families fall apart, the nation's potential diminishes and powerful players count their winnings in silence. The law in the Philippines has been slow to adapt to the digital age. While regulations exist for traditional gambling, online platforms often escape scrutiny. PAGCOR is supposed to regulate the industry, but enforcement is weak and sometimes compromised by corruption. Many Filipinos lack digital literacy, not understanding terms like odds or algorithm bias. Online gambling is invisible behind screens, making it more dangerous than physical casinos. Parents and teachers are often unaware of these risks, and schools rarely teach digital safety or financial literacy. By the time families realize the danger, it's often too late. The legal system reacts only after scandals, punishing small players harshly while big operators escape justice. This imbalance fuels helplessness among Filipinos. To protect families, the Philippines needs stronger laws, better education, and active digital policing. Until then, online gambling will continue to operate in the shadows, taking more victims every day. Behind every statistic is a story: a man who sold his tricycle to chase a jackpot, a mother who borrowed from 5 lending apps to cover her husband's gambling debts, a teenager who dropped out of college after secretly losing his tuition online. These are not just numbers, they are real, painful stories. In urban and rural areas alike, gambling ruins are becoming part of the community's quiet whispers. Neighbors notice. Churches counsel broken families. Teachers ask why students stop showing up. The social fabric is being stretched to its limits. In some cases, gambling addiction leads to crime. Theft, fraud, and even violence have been traced back to debts caused by online betting. The mental toll is just as severe: anxiety, depression, even suicide. And yet, because of the shame, most stories remain untold. Families often struggle in silence. Filipino culture values pride and privacy, making it hard to ask for help. Instead of seeking rehab or financial counseling, many choose to hide the problem, which only makes it worse. The stigma surrounding addiction prevents healing. These stories must be told, because behind every broken home is a chance for reform and a warning to others. If we ignore these voices, we allow the cycle to continue. Awareness is the first step toward breaking the chain. Change begins at home. If you suspect someone is struggling with gambling addiction, don't shame them. Support them. Listen, observe, and start honest conversations. Gambling thrives in silence. Break that silence with empathy and education. Parents, talk early with your children about money, risk, and digital dangers. Teach financial literacy. Explain the tricks behind gambling apps. Creating a culture of openness makes it harder for addiction to take hold. Communities can help: barangays, churches, schools, by hosting workshops and creating safe spaces for help. Normalize recovery groups and counseling services. The more visible support, the easier it is to ask for help. Push for better policies, stronger regulation, education programs, and accountability from government. Society must send a clear message: online gambling harms more than it helps. You are not powerless. As a parent, teacher, friend, or community member, you can be the reason someone avoids this trap. Together, we can protect our families and communities from gambling addiction. Online gambling may offer fast thrills, but it slowly robs us of what truly matters: our families, our dreams, our futures. The fight against this silent epidemic begins with awareness, courage, and collective action. By understanding how online gambling infiltrates lives, we can make better choices. We can build stronger relationships. We can raise smarter children. And we can shape a country that values stability over short-term gain. This issue is not just about money, it's about values. It's about choosing connection over secrecy, resilience over escape, and family over fantasy. The most powerful defense we have is our culture, if we use it to lift each other up. Let this video be more than just information. Let it be a wake-up call, a tool for discussion, and a reason for action. Together we can protect what makes us Filipino, our unity, our love for family, and our unwavering spirit to overcome any challenge. Because in the end, winning doesn't come from a screen. It comes from the lives we build, the families we protect, and the values we choose to stand for. If this story inspired you or even made you think, don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more powerful insights like this. Your voice matters. Let's keep this conversation going and let's grow together.